Okay, so in this video what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk about how to sling your arm through the golf ball. It is a feeling that golfers want, and when you're watching golf on the TV, okay, you always see the professional golfer, looks like they're extending their arms nicely towards the target, they have a nice balanced position, and you're often left wondering why you can't get yourself into that position. So what I wanted to do is create a video on essentially how you're going to do that, and give you some nice feelings, but also give you an explanation as to the likelihood to the reason why you're not doing that. Now, the first thing to understand is the rotation, okay? Because your right arm or your trail arm can only really extend to the point of its extension, okay? So the main reason why your arm doesn't look like the professional golfer is not so much to do with your arm, it's to do with your body. So what I mean is, if I sort of have a tendency to sort of hang back, well, that's where my right shoulder location is, so I'm going to end up finishing like so. And then most golfers tend to do something like this to think that's a turn rather than this. So try to be mindful that when you sort of finish the swing, you want to make sure that your upper body is nicely balanced over your lower body. You feel quite high, you feel quite tall in terms of that finish position, and your foot position should look like what I'm demonstrating here. Okay, so if I move that way, that basically means that my shoulder is moving through towards the target. Okay, so that's the big thing to understand. So you want to make sure your upper body is over your lower body. Now, the thing that will surprisingly stop you from doing that is the leg, okay, and the upper part of the leg in particular. Now, when we see most professional golfers, they may start with their feet pretty perpendicular towards the target, as I'm demonstrating here. But when they come in towards this impact zone, the foot will have a tendency to spin. And the reason for that is because if you keep the upper part of your leg too forward facing, you're going to get stuck. Ooh, okay. Whilst if you allow the upper part of your leg to flare, you're going to notice the way you can turn the pelvis, continue it through. And if you sort of thought about it logically, if you were playing any other silent sport or throwing a ball, you would generally face and plant that lead foot in the direction where you're going. It's unlikely you would plant it in this type of movement. You just wouldn't do that. So, first thing you want to understand is that your right arm can only go as straight as it can, which basically means a lot of the reason why you're not in the position you want to be is more due to the fact that your shoulder is not moving through the ball, which will be based on two things. You're not understanding you're supposed to finish nice and balanced, and the upper part of your leg isn't moving through the ball. The second thing which is going to be stopping you is the position of the arm in the backswing. Now, I'm not sure if you guys have ever seen these, but there are now at golf shows, there are those sort of robot devices which mimic the professional golf swing. And I always find them really interesting because what it'll be is it'll be like a big machine, a big computerized thing, and the golfer will hold onto it, and then the machine moves them to mimic a professional golf swing. And quite often it looks like somebody like John Rahm's golf swing. And what you'll see is the student or the golfer will always struggle to hold on to the actual device. It'll pull them off balance. And the reason for that is because most golfers underestimate the amount of width that a professional golfer demonstrates, which basically just means a professional golfer will always be trying to keep their arms away from their body, okay? They kind of know that you don't want your arms close to your body, because if you get your hands too close to your body, it's weak. You want to be pushing your arms away from the body because that's going to help you whip it through. So in that backswing position, what you want to make sure is that the relationship between your upper and your lower arm is not too close. If this is too close, then you're going to run into a problem. You want to be pushing it away. Okay, so that's the next thing that you want to be thinking about. Once you understand that you've got to rotate and finish through because it moves the shoulder, the next thing you want to be doing is making sure that you're not bending the arm too much in the backswing because you're going to get stuck anyway. So you then want to make a few little practice swings where this relationship never exceeds 90. And like I said to you with reference to the swing device, I tend to find that most pros are considerably wider than what most amateur golfers end up actually realising. So if you can do that, then you're going to have a much better chance of knowing what to do as you start the downswing. Now, I would say what you're trying to do with reference to this trail arm in the downswing is you are trying to basically do a couple of things. You're trying to make sure that your upper arm is moving to the side of your body, similar to what I'm demonstrating here. So we want to make sure that we're never doing this, that we're doing more of this. And you want to make sure as you're doing this that your forearm points up towards the sky. See, that type of motion there, if I allow my upper arm to move to the side of my body and the forearm points to the sky, is it creates a shallowing. And the reason why you need a shallowing motion is because when you turn, it helps you keep the golf club on plane. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to do this, where you sort of pull down with the club and you don't move your body. You want to be moving your body towards the target as you get this feeling of shallowing the golf club similar to what I'm demonstrating here. And if you can do those movements and you can kind of theoretically put them together, then the drill that's best suited is single arm swings. So you'd break it down. You would spend a little bit of time doing some through swings, okay, where you sort of finish like you post up nicely over that lead side, the upper part of the lead, legs facing towards the target, and your right shoulder theoretically moves through the ball, okay, like so. Nice little finish position, okay. Then what you want to do is make a few practice swings where you keep it nice and wide, and then go from that position up and through. Up and through. And then as you start the downswing, just make sure the forearm isn't pointing down to the ground. Points up to the sky as you swing up and through. Now, the thing that I love, okay, let me just hit one to sort of show you what I mean by this as a relaxed, okay. I love that sort of classic, I'm not saying you have to, but I love that classic club on the back of the shoulder look. Okay, that is something that I always love to see. And I think that's a really good feeling for you to have to help you get that sense you're directing and slinging that arm through. So nice and wide, turn your body, club on your back. Now just be careful with that, because I don't want you to do it, damage yourself and notice that you hit yourself on the, you know, with the club head on the hip bone or something, and it's really painful. But just if I sort of mimic and swing this way, say as I swing up and through, just like I let the club shaft drop onto the shoulder, and it just helps me feel like I am flinging that club through, and then it drops down. Fling it through and it drops on my shoulder, like so. And I love these sort of movements. This is what I always try and do in every golf lesson. I try and get that blend of explaining to the golfer what it is that's causing the problem, but then trying to give a couple of drills to get some mimicking movement, and then try and finish it off with a nice feeling, something that you can take towards the range and the course. And hopefully there is enough in this video so you understand what you're trying to do with the trail arm, how important your body rotation is alongside it, and a nice little drill and feeling across that shoulder, just so that you know when you next go and hit some shots, if you're mimicking that kind of position that you want to see and we see, especially with some of the iconic greats. Lovely weather. I'll see you soon.